So now let's take another look at a few more trendline examples and how we can use the trendline shift and the trendline break to make sense of markets where we don't have a read with the moving average. So here we can see very nicely we're coming from a downtrend, then we started this a little bit messy behavior around the 20 SMA, but here we can clearly see we are in an uptrend. We have very well defined swings and trend waves, but the moving average is falling in the middle. So let us draw a resistance, let us draw a trend line. So we connect the low here, second touch, third touch, and here we then have the fourth touch. Here we eventually roll over and break below the moving average. You can see previously the trend was running out of steam. We just made a double top, whereas previously we were always able to make higher highs. So that's the first indication. Then here, when we just look left, we had problems here at this area previously. A very nice double top here, which then started a sell-off as well. So we have two confluence factors already. When we take a look at the RSI, obviously we have a divergence, but this is normal on a double top. You can see here price was making a higher, price was making a double top. The RSI was already pointing downwards. And then here we broke the trend line. The safer entry in this case would have been here after we are making lower lows. So you can see we have some type of support here. We found support here 1, 2, 3 times. We have a little bit here of pin bars that show the upside rejection, but if you enter a little bit late here on the confirmed break of this trendline break here and on the confirmed break of this support break, then you would enter here. You still have a very good amount of downside potential. Even if you just target the previous low here, there was a decent profit potential to be made on such a trade, and you can again see how we can combine the different clues. Then let's take here a look at the US dollar Japanese yen. You can see here already we have a major supply area, which we will mark now. You can see a very small consolidation before this huge drop. So we have been waiting to see if price can make it back here. Price slowly grinded upwards. We have lots of back and forth here, swings in this trending market. The moving average again falls in the middle, so it's not going to help us in this case. But we can already see that the lows are sticking out pretty well. So we are going here with those lows, and you can see a lot of confluence, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touches. Then we dip into this resistance and this supply area. We immediately pick up new sellers. Price rolls over. We eventually break the trend line here. You can see already that price has been accelerating into the trend line. Then again, don't push your luck, enter before the trend line. It is a risky trade because you can see price previously always found here support. So better it is to enter a little bit late with additional confluence. So you can see here price has been moving lower. We broke very strongly. We made a little retest here at the trend line. So a good confluence, and you can see price sold off in a very nice way after this trendline break, after price picked up here this supply and then turned lower. So another way of how we can make sense of this turnaround here at this key price area. Here another good example, you can see price has been moving lower here steadily, a very long trend, but at the same time a lot of big waves back and forth around the 20 moving average. Here the swing highs, they stick out very well. Let's just connect them, and we can see that here, depending on how we draw it, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches. We overshot it here a little bit, but we did not close above it. Let's zoom out to see if we get a support confluence here on this trade as well. Have to zoom out a little bit more. Price has been back in this area for quite some time. So we can see that there is actually a major swing low here previously. Let me move that. So here is a very important swing low here. You can see previously there were several swing lows, but price never really found enough power to break above the trend line. Here it then did. So we have this confluence of this major support area. Let's zoom back in. You can also see we have something like a little squeeze, or at least we have a double bottom with a failed breakout attempt. Not a big one, but we do have now a bottom pattern and a double bottom, and then we see this accelerating momentum to the upside. We close here above this trend line, then you can see this was the close, and you can see we started rallying afterwards. We probably cannot draw a Fibonacci because the trend structure is not supporting the Fibonacci's in that case, but we do have enough information here to see that the powers are shifting. We are finally breaking above the trend line with accelerating momentum out of this double bottom, out of this major swing low and major support area. So a good way of combining all the different tools and the different concepts that we have learned so far to get into a trade. If you are a little bit more risk averse, you can see here we have some type of previous resistance, a double top, and you can see price here broke above it, we fell back below it, and then immediately we broke higher in one straight line. So if you are risk averse, you can wait, don't enter just here on the initial break of the trend line, but wait until price actually closes above this resistance area, and then you can see you still have a decent profit potential ahead of you. And one final example, you can see the trend structure looks very similar to what we've seen previously. We can see we are in an uptrend. Previously here we saw that price was trading around the moving average, then we suddenly accelerated. We went into this trend here, which actually looks like a very nice swing pattern and swing trade. So we can combine two methods here. First, we take a look at the trend line, which lines up here. So let's start with this swing low. Then we get the good confluence, 1, 2, 3 touches, and here price moves into the trend line. We grind a little bit higher, we eventually break it, and here at the top you can see that you have your regular trend structure, 1, 2, 3 trend waves. We have a double top here at this high, then we accelerate to the downside. We have a few breaks of the moving average. The first convincing break was here after we made this drop here below the 20 moving average and below the low here. There is this famous flip zone that we've talked about so often. You can see previous resistance turns into support, and then on the way down we break it and then start this new sell-off. So if you are already short here, then you can use the trend line and enter on the trend line break, or re-enter on the trend line break better. And so you can see how you can use your different tools and the different concepts to get into a trade at different stages and with the help of different tools. And that's why we use the different patterns, so that you are well equipped in any market type and any situation. Let's also look here left and see if we actually have a resistance in that area. Again, we have to zoom out a little bit, and here is the previous swing high. So let me mark this swing high and we zoom back in. And you can see very nicely that price overshot this area. We then made this top pattern and then we sold off. So if you are just looking at the pure resistance, there was probably a high likelihood that many traders already sold here just because price reached this area and because it was such a big one. But we wait, and we wait for a very clear sign that price is reversing, which came a little bit later here after this top and then after this turnaround. So this is usually the safer entry if you wait for additional confluence and additional confirmation, because not always do these resistance areas hold and price just keeps trending higher. But with the way that we analyze charts, we can pick up the little nuances and then get into high probability trades. And now you should have a pretty good understanding about how to use the trend lines, in which market type to use trend lines, how to combine it with the different clues and concepts that we use. And so you have learned all the 3 patterns in this reversal trading strategy. You can now apply your knowledge to the markets. In the next module, we will look at the order specifics, which means we look at how to place a stop loss, how to manage a trade, when to cut a loss when price moves against you. And with that module, we can then complete your trader education and you are well equipped to go your own path. And as always, we recommend that you come over to our forum, interact with